Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, last week, I think it was on Wednesday, we talked about how to make the smearing campaign backfire on the narcissist. It was a request from a viewer. That got me to thinking about today's topic. Validation is what that's about. You want to be validated. You want the person that they're smearing you to know that you have stake in this argument. You have meat in this argument. You have a ground to stand on as well. It's about validation. That's sometimes all we need or want or desire to make it through the conversation with someone else. You want to be validated. And what becomes so frustrating, this is what I wanted to tackle today, is when the people don't believe you because the narcissist has already charmed them, you feel like you're in the twilight zone. Am I right? Like you cannot believe that they don't believe you. I've had people look at me right out loud and say, well, I liked him. Did you? Of course you did. Of course you did. They saw this, and this side of your narcissist. Be it romantic partner, family, friend, business partner. Again, the narcissist that we discussed today could be in any role or any day. They could be in any role in someone's life. But when you know how they have treated you, you know it. And nobody believes you, or they don't spend proper time with you to at least hear you out. They've made their decision about this charming, magnanimous, grandiose narcissist who's always in a good mood and down to have a good time and is friendly and makes jokes and sings songs or whatever they do. And they don't believe you. That's the part that stings. Am I right? It stings and it stinks and it rots. It's awful. When you want that validation and you don't receive it from the people you turn to, I just want you to really understand why that's happening so you don't fall into a pit of despair over it, because it's extremely difficult. You finally decide, I'm going to confide, and then you go to talk to somebody. What's this piece of hair doing? You're going to go to talk to somebody. It was hard enough for you to come to that decision, and then they don't believe you, or they minimize it. They don't realize how impactful it was to you. They don't realize anything about the trauma bond or the addiction to this person or the adrenaline and cortisol and dopamine and endorphins that they fed us sparingly back and forth and kept us on a hamster wheel. They don't understand any of that. It's very involved. And for many people, I know several people that are as strong as, oh no, you won't treat me that way, bye. They would never get into this far deep as I got. And we've talked about why that is. I had a hole in me that allowed that. I had a hole in me that picked that person. I had a hole in me that made that person stay for a while. Well, I didn't know that until I dissected what happened and figured that out. And I certainly wasn't equipped to say to the person I'm trying to make understand, well, I had a hole in me. Because then they say, well, what do you mean? I love you. You have a good life. You have family and friends. Mine came from, I always envisioned Cinderella. I thought that I would be paired up with someone. I had this quest for that. I thought that was what was going to be real. And that's what you had to have to be happy. I realize later in life now that none of that is true. I can be very happy and am by myself. This is the first time in my adult life that I've arrived at this place. And it was with a lot of work. You guys know you've seen me through it the last over 2 years. When you don't feel validation, you feel that can creep into your mind as, am I going crazy? Is it just me? Could it be me? It can't be me. No, I know this is bad that they did this. I know this is bad that they did that. It can really creep into your brain that you start losing your mind thinking that maybe I'm too sensitive. Maybe I didn't look at it right. Maybe they were being thoughtful and not intrusive. Maybe they were trying to be spontaneous and not take control of my schedule. I've even heard somebody say, well, I think that's nice. I would love for my guy to call me 25 times a day. Would you really? The narcissist doesn't call 25 times a day because they're so in love they can't stay away from their partner. They call 25 times a day to be intrusive, to check on you, to control where you are, to not let you get into the flow of doing anything yourself. You're leaving your phone on in yoga. God forbid you miss a call and they yell at you. Everything in the life with a narcissist gets very wrapped up in a lot of tension. And all these little day-to-day things other people don't know, they don't see. And they would never understand. They would say, well, what do you mean? Just turn your phone off and talk to him when you get home. Like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? He'll put you through. Heck, the second you walk in the door, you'll be fighting for 2 hours. You know what he'll do. They can't picture it. Because they would never be with someone, maybe, who would put them through that. They would have put the screeching halt on it. And then you feel invalidated telling them that you haven't put the screeching halt on it and you still are with this person despite this behavior that they're putting upon you. Now you have to explain that to the person that doesn't believe you're still in that situation anyway. I can't tell you how many times I heard, I don't understand. Because I've known people that have gone out with narcissists. And there's always someone, either I've had it said to me, or I've heard people say it about a friend. I've seen people say it to each other. I don't understand why you're still there. Leave now, like leave tonight. Like go home and get a suitcase. What's the problem? They don't comprehend. And are they right? Probably. But it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You may be married, you may have children, you may be deeply in the throes of a trauma bond and you can't snap out of it. That takes time, education, and empowerment. And validation is a big part of that. I think that's what you guys get when you come here, because I hear it in the comments. You guys know I've been there. You know I've lived through it. You guys know more than once. More than once I have, in case I haven't mentioned that in a while. I don't know why I'm holding the remote. I open it and close it. I don't know if you guys think that's cool, but I like the clicking that it makes. That's what I'm doing right now. But I think that the validation that you hear, somebody understands me, somebody knows exactly where I was, that can make you not feel alone. This can be a very alienating disorder to be wrapped up in as the victim. There's that word. I know it's a trigger for some people, but that is the word that the powers that be use. But it can have your brain going in all directions. You don't know where to turn. You don't feel validated. You are validated. Even if these people around you to whom you may be confiding don't understand, please understand that there are 1,700 and something, as I just mentioned on Friday's video about my mother finding out I had a channel. You guys should check that out. It was so funny. But there are 1,700 and something of us that have joined this channel, and we all understand. You are not alone. There are hundreds and thousands and millions of subscribers on the big channels, which we are going to get there one day. We are. Because we all stick together and we do understand each other. Don't ever feel alone. And if you can't get the validation from people in your life that you really, really crave, you're going to have to find it within yourself. And that comes with education and empowerment. The validation that I got was being educated on this disorder. And the more I learned, the more I said, oh, so it's not just me. I'm not crazy. It's called gaslighting. Oh, it's not just me that I went nuts when he was trying to make me jealous. He was trying to. That's triangulation. Oh, it's not just me feeling like every move was bad. Nope, that's the manipulation. Oh, I let my boundaries drop. That's why I let him in. I could have kept them up and it would never have gotten in. I learned all that. And I became validated knowing there was this entire sector of people with whom we have to deal with these issues. I wasn't going crazy, and neither are you. And there's an entire bunch of people going through this all the time. I get new viewers all the time who are learning about this and seeking help because their relationship is crashing and burning and they don't know why. And what happened to the person? He did a 180. Where's that person? I get it. I get it. We all get it. We all get it. And it's tough. And I feel really badly if you have a person that is believing in the charms of the narcissist and the beguilingness that they can be. and maybe not giving your words as much weight as they should. You can't expect that from someone that's never been through this, because they would never allow it maybe, or they've been lucky enough to avoid it, or maybe they've been with the same person 50, 40, 30, or 20, or 10 years. Not everyone experiences this. And think about if somebody was trying to tell you to leave your narcissist before you knew about the reasons that you should. And maybe you have, and maybe you haven't. I'm here to tell you either way, you're very validated. You are, and we hear you. Keep reaching out to the comments. Always reach out if you need help too. Private coaching details are in my community tab. And I've seen some great results with my people already with whom I have those coaching sessions. I feel bad if you're going through it. Keep watching, keep educating, and you will become empowered just like the rest of us.